Stubbs Podcast. You can follow Vinny Stubbs Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Podomatic. You can call in 248-257-5263. Once again, it's 248-257-5263. Here we go again. The Lions, as you know, lost. And came into the game as underdogs. +3. I had the Lions winning the game. And I had them winning the game convincingly. Matt Stafford, 24 for 30 with 2 touchdowns. It wasn't good enough. Guys, the season is essentially over. You can pretty much throw out any hopes of making the playoffs. We have to play Green Bay next week. And it's not good. Not good at all. Today we will focus on 3 pieces. Lions continue to have defensive holes. Lions wasting Kerryon Johnson, and boy are they ever wasting Kerryon Johnson. And TJ Lang is hurt again. It was a bad Sunday. What I really took out of this game is, as bad as the team is, I like Matt Patricia. I think he's a good head coach. The expectations really weren't that high for me. You got a new head coach, new system, and it's going to take some time. 2 years ago, Doug Peterson was a rookie head coach for the Philadelphia Eagles, and they started the season. Well, their first season they were 7-9, and everybody wanted to broom them out, taking over Chip Kelly's football team. So, first year went 7-9. Second year, they won the Super Bowl with a backup quarterback and a lot of other injuries. As bad as they are, I mean, if you want to take away the Jets game, I think the team is fundamentally sound on practically all 3 phases with a few problems on special teams. I think that they need to go into the draft and get nothing but defensive linemen and linebackers. Because if they don't address that need, then the problems are going to continue. I know TJ Lang's out with a concussion. The guy's always hurt. No, we have Wiggins. I didn't really see that. He did fine. So, TJ Lang's always going to be hurt. That's just the bottom line. Before I get to the pieces, I took some notes on a few things that I saw with my own eyes. That cost us the game. The roughing the passer call on Dak Prescott. At the time, I was pissed off about the call. I mean, it's a terrible call, let's be honest. But the NFL is trying to preserve quarterbacks. So we have to deal with this kind of shit. The roughing the passer call was crucial. Other bonehead things like Eli Harold lining up offsides. Like, you can't do these things. Last week he was tied for like 3rd in sacks. This week he's lining up offsides. Kerryon Johnson touching the ball 9 times. 9 times. 9 for 55 and a touchdown. Got his first career touchdown. That's 6.1 yards per carry. And they're not using this guy. They're putting in LeGarrette Blount, 7 for 12, 1.7 yards per carry. They ran the ball 17 times. Come on. Why are you wasting this guy? This is what they do. They waste talent. Bob Cooter last week opened up the playbook against New England, and they beat their ass. What is this nonsense? Why are they running Kerryon Johnson 9 times? Why? There's too much LeGarrette Blount and not enough Johnson. Other things I took out of the game. 0, 0, 0, 0. Absolutely 0 tight end production. None. Jarrad Davis sucks. He can't cover. Why in the hell was Jarrad Davis on Ezekiel Elliott on that bomb? Why was he covering him? Where was the secondary at? Where were the corners? And why is Tracy Walker playing in the 4th quarter? Between him and Tabor, I don't know who's worse. None of these guys can cover. Awful play calling. I think Davis is average at best. He can't cover. And the referees throwing flags left and right on us. It's ridiculous. That's the same referee. I think his name's Walt Anderson. I don't know if you guys remember this or not. We were playing the Houston Texans in I think it was 2012 on Thanksgiving. Justin Forsett was the running back for the Houston Texans. His knee hit the ground and he was down. And the refs didn't call him down. Therefore, Jim Schwartz's dumbass threw a red flag out in the field that I've never even seen. I've never seen actual footage of him throwing the challenge flag. Apparently he did. And they scored a touchdown off that play because they challenged it. Man, that referee's a son of a bitch. And last year, he was the referee that called he ran the 10 seconds off the clock when they were playing Atlanta. When Golden Tate scored that touchdown with 8 seconds left in the game. And we lost the game because of that. I hate that guy. Other bonehead things I saw. They faked the run to Elliot to the left side of the field, and the entire defense shift on over to the left side of the field. It was like the Three Stooges. And they threw a pass to that Swaim guy, Jeff Swaim. I never even heard of him. He's a tight end. And he gained like 35 yards on that play. I don't know what Jim Bob Cooter is doing, but it seems like if he's not opening up everything that he has on that playbook, we're going to lose. You know, we got to go to Green Bay next Sunday and play them. What do you think's going to happen? The season's over. You have to go into this draft and you have to draft all defensive linemen. I don't care about TJ Lang. Stafford has all the weapons in the world. I have no problem with their offense yesterday, with the exception of them not using Kerryon Johnson. The offense is amazing. I have no problems with. They have no tight end, and they don't use Kerryon Johnson. But besides that, they're fine. Start using Kerryon Johnson. I got this team going 7-9, and I had them going 7-9 at the beginning of the season. Even though they're a better team and they're more fundamentally sound on both sides of the ball, they're going to be worse than last year. Their schedule's harder, and they have a new coach. All right? Cooter, you have to open up that playbook, my man. All right. First piece, ESPN. This is by Michael Rothstein. The defense believed they could get a stop. They looked at each other confidently. This was the position they wanted to be in. Game on the line, needing to contain Dak Prescott. Oh, by the way, Prescott. He hasn't thrown for 185 yards in over 5 regular season games. And that changed. 17 for 27, 255 yards, 2 touchdowns. Elliot, 25 for 152, 6.1 yards per carry. 6.1 yards per carry, rather. Receiving, 4 for 88. That's 22 on average. With a touchdown, 240 total yards. Ezekiel Elliott, you had one job to shut this guy down, and you couldn't do it. That's all you had to do was shut down Elliott. You let him get 240 all-purpose yards. Man. What a disgrace. They have linebackers and defensive linemen the entire draft. No offense. We don't want any offense. 0. Get it right. There's no pressure on the quarterback. None. It's an embarrassment, man. We went 9-7 last year. You didn't address the defensive line whatsoever during the draft. Now look at us. This is an embarrassment. Back to the piece. Game on the line. Needed to contain Dak Prescott and Elliott to wrap up a needed road win. Then the play started, and the Lions, as they've shown in 3 of 4 games this season, struggled to stop much of anything. So many of the concerns about Detroit's roster before the season showed up on the final drive in Dallas. Yeah, it did. The Lions couldn't rush the passer. The Lions couldn't cover the opposing tight ends or running backs. That cost them as Dallas drove down the field to kick a game-winning field goal as time expired. giving the Cowboys a 26-24 win over Detroit. Damn it, man. In doing so, it brought back all those issues a week after the Lions looked good defensively against New England. Yeah. Ricky Jean Francois, our biggest thing is we have to close. That's our thing. We've got to close out. We can't keep killing ourselves with penalties. We can't keep killing ourselves with missed assignments. Can't keep killing ourselves with missed tackles. I'm only talking from our side of the ball, not the offense. We have to do better. Does that sound familiar? Does it sound familiar? It's the same thing every single year. Matt Stafford's going to be in his 11th season next year. And we are hearing the same things over and over and over again. It doesn't matter. Next piece. Also, this is from the Detroit News. This is from Justin Rogers. 4 downs, Lions wasting Kerryon Johnson's talent. 100%. Yes, they are. All right, to the piece. Consider this a return of a former feature, repackaged and provided a second-day look at Detroit Lions' most recent game, in this case, a 26-24 loss to the Dallas Cowboys. We'll explore... Okay, first down. Let's go. To the piece. Rookie running back Kerryon Johnson got his first start, which is appropriate given the way he's performed to begin the year, as he validated the decision with a 32-yard run on the first offensive snap of the game. That was incredible. Oh, you got 32 yards on one carry? Let's give you the ball 8 more times. Johnson's playing time and offensive involvement were sparse through the remainder of the game. He finished with just 20 snaps. With just 20 snaps! Behind Theo Riddick, who paced the rotation with 25 reps. This can't be real. He finished with just 20 snaps. At this point, it's abundantly clear that Johnson is Detroit's best back. Sure, the team has to maintain a rotation. So what? No, you don't have to maintain a rotation. I mean, if you are going to maintain a rotation, put Johnson in and give him more than 20 reps. You can bring Riddick in, but bring Johnson in with him. Have him line up as a slot receiver. Or throw a screen past him like you do on every single play. He's simply not built to handle 30 carries every week for 16 weeks. No one said anything about 30 carries. Give him 15. Give him 16 carries. You can give him half the load. That's what you drafted him for. Half, not 9, half. Every week for 16 weeks, and he acknowledged as much when chatting after the game, but 9 carries and 10 touches is wasting his talent. Yeah. It is wasting his talent. Johnson isn't one to complain about his workload. He's a high-character player who says and does the right things. Who cares? Which is part of his overall appeal. So what? What do you mean he doesn't complain about his workload? He was complaining in training camp about being worked too hard. So I'll say it for him. He needs more work. Clearly, each game is different and situations are going to arise that alter the game plan. But an unofficial target for Johnson to maximize his talents while maintaining peak performance should be 20 touches a week. Yeah! Why are we telling Jim Bob Cooter what to do? That's it. Man, oh man. 9 touches? Too much talent. Man, they really move the ball around good when he's in there. And you know what? Another thing, Ebron's gone. We have to draft another tight end. Luke Wilson is barbaric. Dude. Next piece. M Live. This is from Nate Atkins. It's pertaining to TJ Lang. Another O-line injury wrecks momentum for the reworked unit. Nate Atkins. The Lions have a group of 4 offensive linemen who have yet to miss a single snap this season. Decker, Wagner, Glasgow, and Ragnow have become the antithesis of what the Lions were up front last season. When injuries shuffled players in and out of starting lineup from the first day of the season on. They become a group of continuity at those 4 spots. And all they needed was one final piece. And so when TJ Lang joined them and playing every single snap against the Patriots, and they turned into their best performance in more than a year. Yeah, accumulating in the first 100-yard rushing performance in nearly 5 seasons. All was finally looking up for the position group that has commanded Bob Quinn's focus each offseason. That all lasted for 1 game. And then Sunday hit. 3 days after Lang spoke in the locker room about how great he felt physically, he took a shot to the head on a collision and went down to the turf. He always says he feels good, and I'm just like, he's made of glass. Ted Thompson is really not that big of an idiot. He's not as dumb as I thought he was initially when they let him go out of Green Bay. Dude, this guy is a China doll. Back to the piece. He needed help off the field and kept wiping his eyes as he went. It was a scary moment with another brain injury for him, and he was not coming back into the game. I don't know how long he's going to be out for. That scared me. I initially thought it was his neck. So, there you have it. TJ Lang is out once again, and he's probably going to be out for a few weeks, and now you have Wiggins in. Last podcast on Friday, I told you guys to look out for DeMarcus Lawrence. Lang and Wagner had to do a good job blocking on the right side and run the ball on the left side. Lawrence, 3 sacks. Unbelievable. What are we going to do? Wow. All right, when we come back, we'll do Creep of the Week, and we'll, I don't know what you want me to say. We'll do a breakdown against the Green Bay Packers. Season's over. Vinny Stubbs Podcast.
Get down.
Vinny Stubbs Podcast. You can follow the Vinny Stubbs Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Podomatic. Please click the subscribe button on YouTube, guys, please. I'm struggling. It does not look good for the Lions. All right, next Sunday we have to go to Green Bay to play the Packers. We're 1-3, and they just beat the living hell out of Buffalo. I don't know how we're going to put pressure on Rodgers. It's essentially impossible to put any pressure on any quarterback, but now we're playing against Aaron Rodgers. We're going to get torched. I don't know what the spread's going to be. I haven't checked, but I'm taking the over. Our defense is abysmal. All right, Creep of the Week. This is from the Detroit News. Michigan priest backs out of plea agreement in sex case. Yeah, you guessed it. Another Catholic guy is touching little kids. All right, this is out of Saginaw. A 71-year-old Catholic priest in Michigan has backed out of a plea agreement in a criminal sexual conduct case and is expected to face trial. Defense lawyer Alan Crawford tells WJRT TV that Saginaw County Circuit Court Judge Darnell Jackson decided that the Reverend Robert DeLand should face a tougher sentence than the one agreed to by prosecutors. Pretty creepy. The Saginaw News reports the Saginaw County Prosecutor Office says DeLand withdrew the plea on Friday. Prosecutors say DeLand would have been considered a sex offender even if he didn't go to prison. He pleaded no contest in September to criminal sexual conduct and 6 other charges. He was expected to serve a year in jail. DeLand was a pastor at St. Agnes Church in Freeland. The victims were 3 males. There you have it, Creep of the Week. These priests are sick people. It's no secret that, for some weird reason, Catholic kids love older men. I don't get it. All right, guys, you can listen to the podcast every Monday and Friday on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Podomatic. We will have a new show out for you guys Friday night, and it's to break down the Lions and the Packers. Thank you for listening. Vinny Stubbs Podcast.